A video went up on my TikTok wall today talking to how extremely difficult it is for Black sheep women who are called to be in leadership, to be very visible on the world stage, and to serve and live fabulously, how extremely difficult it is for her to come out of hiding when she's been in hiding for most of her life. And in this video, I want to get more into the emotional nuance of what that looks like and feels like from my perspective, so you can start to see yourself inside of this, so you can edge your way closer to saying yes to showing up largely, so you can be big, serve big, and live fabulously. If you're new here, my name is Naima, and I'm the founder of the Academy for Womanhood, where we help women come into power. And we have a specialty working with women who have always been different, with a finer distinction on melanin-dominant women, and coming out of hiding and doing the very distinct work that they are born for. So we have a focus on women who have always been different, too much, strange, been called devil, demon, angel by their friends, family, church, and they're ready to come out of hiding, and they know that they need very distinct help. That's what this channel is for, and that's what the company, the Academy for Womanhood, offers through coaching, high-level coaching and mentorship, courses, and a community. So if you know that this is the place you want to be, go ahead and subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you get notifications when videos come out, and even reels or shorts. We post a lot of shorts here on YouTube. So go ahead and subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell right now. So I want to lay down the foundation of this conversation with this. You are a pioneer. You are a pioneer. I know oftentimes when we read biographies or watch stories of different famous leaders and legends, etc., they always sound big and just these fascinating things that change the world. And with you and I living today in our humanness, and these pioneers of past and now are humans too, when we're in our own reality and we're in this, oftentimes chatty mind, it does it all by itself. And that thing is going. It's easy to take what's in you naturally, what you were born as, what you have developed over time through your own practices, alchemy, transformational work, etc., to look at that in your little old world with little old you and reduce it to, and not put little old you in the category with these giants who contributed so greatly to the world. And what I'm here to tell you is that the difference between those giants, legends who changed the world, and you is that they actually put themselves on the line. Fully. I'll just name a few. Lydia Poet, the first female attorney in Italy. Carl Jung, Nikola Tesla. So whether they died well-known, not known, whether they died with some kind of wealth and money or poor, and then they all died at different degrees of wealth and visibility and fame. They all have a unique story. But what is consistent among all of them is they put themselves on the line. They put themselves on the line repeatedly. They lost repeatedly. They failed miserably. They kept going. They took breaks when need be, and they got back at it. They yelled at people. They fought for things. They made massive mistakes, but they kept going. They put themselves on the line. They risked it all. They said what they meant. They tore up things. They disturbed communities. They made noise. They did abnormal things. They let their weirdness shine. They did things that were in opposition to what was normal at the time. They looked strange. They were called crazy. People called for them to be put away, that they were a disruption to the status quo. The difference between you and the pioneers who have changed the world is that they put themselves on the line for their entire lives. You are a pioneer. My question to you is, are you going to put yourself, your experience, your knowledge, the nuggets that are in you that only seem to be in you, and you feel crazy and like you're not going to belong. They're going to call you crazy and weird. You're not going to fit in anywhere. You're not going to have any friends. You're going to lose your job. You're not going to look like how you look anymore. Are you afraid to put yourself on the line? And are you willing to put yourself on the line for the rest of your life? Now that sounded really grand and like what, like motivational, right? And on the pioneering path, first of all, motivation is not enough. I'd say oftentimes, most of the time, there's not necessarily motivation that's moving you. It's something much, much, much deeper. And in my experience that I want to bring forward now is activating that life or death in you. And you could do this at any time, but I want to talk about it particularly at the beginning stages of your career, which again, you can be doing this for your entire career, but putting yourself in the life or death situations that activate your oneness to get you out of your monkey rational mind. And the example I like to bring here and juxtapose the two is putting yourself in extreme financial situations. And that's one of many. I'm just going to use that one because that's one I use. And juxtapose that with extreme sports. Again, they're juxtaposing the activating of being one with all of life. And the two extremes I'm going to use are creating financial extremes for you and or extreme sports. Now, science has proven, and I don't know the exact language about this, but you can look it up how science has proven how to activate flow states. There are a few ways. One way is to activate life or death, where something must happen or else you will literally die or you will experience something that feels like dying. So in extreme sports, I mean by a tightrope walker, where they take a tightrope and attach it to one mountain and they attach the rope to another mountain. Perhaps you've seen this in a video online. And that rope is hundreds or over 1,000 feet in the air. And this man or woman has to walk that tightrope from one mountain to the other without a harness. This is literally life or death, meaning if she falls hundreds of feet or more, they will definitely die. This extreme act activates an absolute requirement to be one with all of life. So you can imagine how that quiets the chatty mind that's always judging, assessing, on the hunt for right and wrong, making measurements, looking for logic, doing research, looking at data, trying to figure it out, overthinking, chatting all the time, and the redundancy that most humans live in, where the overwhelming majority of their thoughts today are the thoughts that they thought yesterday and before. This is how ruts happen. This is how you can't seem to get out of your own way. This is how you just rearrange furniture. Same level, you just shift the furniture to try to trick yourself into thinking that you're doing something different, but really you're at the same level. That's because you're still living in the monkey mind that's chatting, assessing, judging, moody all the time. And to activate flow that gets you on a whole other vibration and in a whole other oneness with life, you got to do something extreme to knock off that chatty monkey mind. That's extreme sports. And what you could do every day, and I really like to do this, and it took me a while to realize how much I actually like this, is I like to create life or death situations with me financially. What does this look like? It looks like where I need to come up with money to pay for something, or else I'm going to experience something like a death. So in my case, like a death is something like not following through on my word, letting somebody down, and not getting something done, right? So that still falls in the domain of not following through on my word. Me not following through on my word is it So this is a personal value of mine. Obviously, if your word to yourself and to others is not important, you're not going to relate to this. But to me, my word is important. When I say I'm going to do something, it's very important that I do it. Not only that, if there's something that needs to get done to come through for somebody else, for me to not come through feels like a death to me. So this is something that I get to do every day. I can activate it at any time. It still falls in the realm of extreme because it is inside of me and my psyche, my body, my emotional self. It's like a death. Similar to that of the death that's possible in extreme sports when you are allowing all this to go versus getting so charged up, and your goal is to be alive, and so you better be alive to finish this extreme sport. And in my case, I better kill off any kind of monkey chatter and activate my oneness with all of life to figure it out, get there. Okay? So how does this extreme sports example relate to you putting yourself on the line for the rest of your life? Because of the nature of being a pioneer. And I want to lay this down. Pioneer could be you're pioneering a new paradigm, a new consciousness. A lot of the women who come to me, they're not looking to do something like related to electricity or, something that's like functional in a like everyday in your house, like creating a new dishwasher kind of thing. Most of the women who come to me are looking to do something pioneering in the consciousness realm, in the healing realm, in a cultural realm, in a systems realm, creating new systems, thinking, ways of being, very much being involved in laying down new ways of being in the world for all of humanity. And so as a woman, what you're coming up against is everything about the unconscious mind of humanity that, first of all, is going to be resistant or oppositional to change, resistant and oppositional to anything having to do with liberation, which oftentimes, if you're looking to really lay down something as it relates to culture, structure, relationships, humanity in mass, you're probably going to be doing something to get people free. And as lovely as getting people free sounds, there are lots and lots of people who are not only against humanity being free, but will be very active in making sure they demonize you as someone seeking to get people free. And plus, we have all of history that shows that anybody who comes with anything that is going to unlock people, that's going to free people, that's going to bring a sort of unity among humanity, and I'm not talking about a utopia, but I'm talking about something that has people disconnect from broken systems and have them become unified in themselves and connect with others so that we elevate as a species. There's always some againstness. And so because you know this as a pioneer, all of your sensory, all of your fight or flight, all of your animal instincts start to kick into gear when you are even considering truly putting yourself on the line, being highly visible, big, serving big, and living fabulously. So, what an extreme sports or extreme practice allows you to do is to regularly, because this is a practice, regularly engage in work that activates life or death for you and making the commitment to follow through. Let yourself fail. Let yourself figure it out. Let yourself feel like a loser. Let yourself feel weak. Let yourself feel broken. Let yourself feel like you're not going to make it, and still follow through. The failure and keeping going makes you better. The feeling like a loser and keeping going makes you better. The having to lay down when you would like to keep going, but you keep going, makes you better. The contemplating, am I doing this right? Going crazy, feeling like you're going to break something, actually breaking something, makes you better. Feeling like a fool, but keeping going makes you better. The point is, when you activate on purpose some kind of practice that you literally, I'm like, if I don't get this done, oh my God. And it has to be so personal. It has to be so between you and you saying yes to that. And your commitment to the yes of it has you so lit up and on to make it happen that any kind of chatter that would have you talk yourself out of it, go into this whole negotiation, contemplate, think about it the way you have many, many times where you talk yourself out of this and you talk yourself out of that. And you do such a good job of talking yourself out of it and going into all of this lower thought and fear and all that, versus you get into a practice that activates life or death, that gets you into flow, that gets you into oneness with life, and it's scientifically proven. So what I invite you to do is, one, answer yourself the question, is it time for you to put yourself on the line as a pioneer for the rest of your life? And number two, are you ready to engage in a practice that puts you into flow, into one with life? That's a kind of extreme sport that activates your life or death. I better make this happen. Whole body is involved, where it elevates you so you penetrate walls that you've never penetrated before. Is now your time. If so, I would love for you to vet yourself for my Bigger Than You workshop. The details are at the link in the description. This Bigger Than You workshop is a 9-day workshop where I'm going to be running you through the fears, the deeper fears that keep you locked up in a hot and alchemical way so you move through them very fast. This is a strong workshop. This is a fast workshop to have you billow through, pierce through a lot of the chatter and the fears and the deep psychic, but also body binds that keep you either sitting in fear or starting and stopping, or rearranging furniture at the same vibrational level, trying to trick yourself into thinking that you're doing something different, but you're really not. And instead, you're ready to activate flow. And you already know you're made for this. You feel this, like there's a deep sense. And what you now are hungry for, your whole body, your whole psyche, your whole being is ready for, is to be in relationship with somebody like me, a high-level mentor who can support you through it, talk you through it, because it is tender, it is fragile, it's raw, it's real, baby. And it's precisely what your soul is hungry for. So if you're ready to fiercely pierce through these fears, level up quickly in your spaciousness ability to take on life and put your pioneering self out into the world stage and serve big, be big, and live fabulously, I invite you to vet yourself for my Bigger Than You workshop. Details are at the link in the description. If you have any questions, feel welcome to put them in the comments of this video, or you can send an email. The email is also in the description. So if you decide that this Bigger Than You workshop is for you, I look forward to seeing your face, and or I'll see you in the next video.